Hello everyone. Today, your courage will be tested. You might watch this video and think how lucky you are to be born in today's world. Because hundreds of years ago, for even common crimes, the punishments criminals received were so terrifying that just hearing about them will make your body shiver. And you might even faint. In this video, we will present to you some horrifying examples of those inhuman and spine-chilling punishments. If you have the courage, watch the video till the end. And at the very end, don't forget to comment. Did you really finish the whole video? Did you know, China is the only country in the world where the death penalty was given the most frequently as a form of punishment? In fact, in China, even crimes like tax evasion could sometimes result in a death sentence, something that might shock many people. A terrifying method called the death van was introduced in China. From the outside, you might mistake it for a regular ambulance or van. But inside, a horrifying scene unfolded. Inside the van, there was a bed that looked exactly like a hospital bed. The criminal would be laid there, and a lethal injection would be administered to carry out the execution. There was nothing noticeable. Everything appeared very normal. These death vans were a common sight on the roads of China. No one knows exactly how many people took their final journey in these vehicles every single day. Just imagine such a terrifying punishment taking place right on the streets, in a moving vehicle, out in the open. Several live rats would be captured and placed on the criminal's stomach. Then, a metal bucket would be placed over them, covering the rats entirely. After that, hot coal would be poured on top of the bucket. Because of the extreme heat, the rats would panic and start gnawing through the criminal's stomach to escape. They would bite their way into the body, tearing through the flesh and organs. If the person still didn't die after that, the burning hot coal itself would then be poured directly into their stomach. In this way, the death was incredibly painful and torturous. The Brazen Bull, one of the most horrifying punishments in history. It was a massive bull made of bronze, where the criminal would be locked inside, and a fire would be lit underneath. From the heat inside, the person would slowly burn to death. And the most terrifying part was, the bull was designed in such a way that the screams of the victims sounded like the roar of a bull from the outside. This punishment was carried out in public, and the elites of society would watch it with smiling faces, enjoying the spectacle. Just imagine how unimaginable pain was turned into a form of brutal entertainment. This punishment was first introduced in China. Alongside China, Korea, and Vietnam also used to practice this punishment. Later, as the punishment became excessively painful, China eventually banned it in 1905. The process of this punishment involved tying the criminal to a tree, and over several days, stabbing the criminal's body with a knife 1,000 times. As a result, so much blood would flow from the body that the person would slowly collapse into death. Through this punishment, the criminal had to endure extreme torture, something you can already imagine. This punishment was first introduced in China around 1100 years ago. But in 1905, it was the same China that eventually banned this practice. Let me tell you about a punishment so terrifying that if you saw it with your own eyes, you might faint. This method of punishment was brutally cruel. A large tire would be forcibly placed around the criminal's body, and inside that tire, petrol or kerosene would be poured. Then the criminal would be tied up, and the tire would be set on fire. Can you imagine the level of pain a person had to endure? It took almost 20 minutes for the criminal to die through this method, and those 20 minutes were filled with horrific cruelty. This punishment was known as necklacing, and is not just a story, it's real history. During the 1970s and 1980s, this punishment was used in countries like South Africa, India, and Nigeria. It was mainly carried out by the public themselves, often against rapists, murderers, or serious criminals, sometimes even outside the law. On one hand, it was an expression of public rage and revenge. On the other, it was a severe violation of human rights. Even today, some people shiver in fear just remembering this method. Just hearing about this method of punishment might give you chills. Because this isn't something from ancient times, this punishment is still happening today. It is believed that some mafia and gang members in America still secretly use this horrifying punishment. This method has no official name, but those who became its victims never got the chance to name it. The process of the punishment? A person is kidnapped. Then both of their legs are placed inside a large bucket or box. After that, liquid concrete is poured into the bucket. Within moments, the concrete hardens. And at that point, the person's legs become permanently trapped in the concrete. What happens next? They are tied up and thrown into the deep sea, and they are never found again. In 2016, a real-life example of this method came to light, when the body of gang member Peter Martin was discovered at McKean-Harton Beach. A 5-gallon bucket was found on his legs, filled with hardened concrete. It was a perfect case: disappearance, torture, and death. A terrifying message for the entire world. Ancient punishments still survive in today's modern world, only their form has changed.